You know, like the 26ers, we are people that mostly smuggles and work with crown, with kroon, you see. And, you know, mostly like Big Fives, they're more into food and their stuff, but they doing. The Air Forces are people for escape. And your 28s is now people that busy with their goede, you see. They have their stuff that they like for. Because every camp you get in prison stand for something. You see, stand for something. And we must carry that with dignity when you're there. You know, being a gangster, I learned a lot of stuff. People, how people behave, what's people's reactions going to be. And I learn when you meet a person, you got 1 minute to judge this person, what kind of person he is. Because there's no time for getting to know him. You have your picture of this person. Because while we're talking with this person, especially new ones, you're already planning in your head, okay, I'm going to rob him, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. So I need to assess him very fast. Okay, in prison terms, we're calling it, I'm hooking the stemella, you see. And yeah, some of the people don't go through nice stuff. I think you can sense fear in someone. You can sense this is a rock, this is a beast. You can sense, this one thinks he's tough. He's only tough with his mouth. You can sense this one. To explain to you, you got so much short time to assess someone, to know in which direction he's going. And that's what I want to tell the people of this country of us. Gangsters are not always bad people. They're not. There's something in them. You just need to discover it and to boost them in that so that the better person in him can come out. Because sometimes things people do is people that forcing you to do it. It's not out of their own free choice. Yeah, some of us do that. But sometimes people are forcing you to do stuff you don't want to do. I never actually felt racism in prison. Yeah, there's some people. I don't know, because I was at 26 and because I was progressing so fast in my ranks. Because I know I was one of the first white people that received ranks. And the people that childhood me is not youngsters. I was childhood by Madalas. I mean, one of our oldest people, he was grey. I was with an amazing oak there in Leuko prison. Big Daddy. He's from Tembisa. He was from Tembisa. Everyone know him there. I mean, that oak, he was so badly stabbed and hit up in his life. He couldn't walk properly. And then we had some arguments with 28s. I don't want to go into detail. But me and him, we went into the section of the 28s and they were standing the whole section full. I mean, he's so old, he's got all this physical problems in him, but he's still got that dignity for the number, that dignity to say, hey, Mfetu, I'm a daughter, we're gonna die for this, you see. And I went with him, only us two, and we went and Tlalapanzi there with the Nongis, with the 28s, to try and resolve the matter without blood. So people really don't understand actually what's going on there. They just see gangster, criminal, robber, finito. They don't see the compassion there is for one another. I mean, if if we were gangsters and we can have that for one another, why can't people outside have it? Why? Yeah, we have our fights. We stab one another. There's plenty gang wars. I was a lot of times in chains, fighting with big fives, fighting with 28s. A lot of gang wars is there. I've been sentenced 16 years in prison. And I already picked up some sentence. I think I ended up with 21 years. Through this thing of gangsters. I don't want to sit here and tell the world all that evil stuff that I do. I don't want to boast about it. I just want to let them know, the hole that Jesus Christ come and pick me up. People weren't prepared to step into that hole. No one. But he did it for me. He come and picked it up. When my mother come and visit me, the warden straightforward asked her, where did you get him? Where did you get him? When my little daughter come and visit me, the warden say, I'm so glad you have a daughter and not a son. Life is not always easy. Life is not always easy. And I even know, before I had my date, I didn't want no one to know I'm coming out of prison. Because I experienced in prison that time, there were two people in water. The one oak, and this is 228, so I was supposed to go home. And there was something that happened, and they went and killed a person. They cut his throat open. They slit his stomach while he was watching TV. And I mean, even the wardens. It's a different story. Then you see a person lying there is bleeding to death. They just take everything, put it on a blanket, and then he gets pulled to the hospital. That one specific hour, I think he had 3 days. 3 days before he went out. He sits with life on life. And that's why I tell you, gangsterism isn't always easy. You're young, you idolize it. I want to be like that. But there's always a price to pay. And you must ask yourself, are you prepared to pay the price? Because you already did pay price. But the biggest price is going to be your life. The biggest price is your life. The choice is yours, what you do with it. Some of us have opportunities, some don't. But I think everyone deserves a fair opportunity to get out of this, to get a change of heart, to get a mindset change. One of the best things that I can say that I learned about the number is a story has always 2 sides. When you go through things in the gangsterism, there's only one way. But it says nangumpela naganya. A story has 2 sides. It's not to say this man is telling the truth. You must ask the other one as well. And that is very important because sometimes you have a mindset, must be like this, the other way. Because you don't take the next person or that person or that person, you don't take them into consideration. You see, you don't. And that's some of the stuff that I learned. You as youngsters, I want to ask you, please, don't idolize gangsters. There's good in it, but there's more bad. Until certain point, there's a good life. The smuggle's going lekker. Everything is fine. You don't have shortages of nothing. But sooner or later, you start going to pay back for that. And that payment that you do can be your life, can be a loved one's life, can be your closest friend's life. And where will you end up? Where will that end up? It's a cycle. We must break the cycle, break that chains, break it.